Hey, what's going on, y'all? You're tuned into Attention to Orders. I'm your host, Big Sarge. All my Vietnam veterans, welcome home. Germany, good night. All my active duty military personnel that's downrange, good night. It is now time for Big Sarge's Article 15. Come get this work on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm out. Hey, what's going on, y'all? You tuned to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge podcast. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Hey, listen, it's not going to be a long one today, not right now. I will be back because I definitely have to do the breakdown on how the Clippers just gave it up. We're going to talk a little bit about the NFL. I definitely need to give you all my views and opinions on Mike McCarthy, the new head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, and how he looked just like the same old clap on, clap off, clap on, clap off Jason Garrett. He just looked like a fat version of Jason Garrett, and the decision that he made to go for it on fourth down when he should have just tied the game up. And then, you know what? I'm not going to even get on that rant right now. I will be back to talk about that, though. But right now, I just came strictly, I did this podcast for one reason and one reason alone. All my Vietnam veterans, welcome home. Germany, good night. All my active duty military personnel that's down, good night. It is now time for Big Sarge's Article 15. Pittsburgh Steelers offensive lineman Alejandro Villanueva, come get this work. Listen, sir. Like, for those of you all who will listen to this podcast and can't see me live right now, I have on my Army shirt. They call it the marshmallow top. It's old school Army sweatshirt, but he got Army on there because I raised my right hand in May of 2009 and took the oath of enlistment. So I can say this to you, sir. I know that you are currently still in the military. I get that, but I'm not. So your rank don't mean nothing to me. I met you, I want to say 2 years ago, when the Houston Texans played the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I talked with you in the locker room, and I really thought, I was like, you know what? This is not a bad person at all. Yeah. But then again, with this latest incident that I'm about to talk about, you just let me know, and I put it like this. You just brought back to memory how most of you officers in the military are, how most of you non-African American officers are. See, they say you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all the time. And Big Sarge may let you get one by, but Big Sarge damn sure ain't finna let you get two by. You think that you finna get two by, don't you, sir? You think that you finna get two by Captain Villanueva, right? Alejandro Villanueva, offensive tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So on Sunday, right? So now we're in 2020. Everybody knows the social injustices that's going on. Everybody knows the push to bring about awareness to unarmed civilians being killed by law enforcement officials, especially African American unarmed civilians being killed by law enforcement officials. Everybody knows the push to stop systemic racism. Everybody knows the push to bring about all the things that has brought this country down since its existence. I can give you a history lesson on why America is the way it is. I can give you a history lesson on how Christopher Columbus, I'm sorry, let me do these air quotes again. How Christopher Columbus found America, and then how he found America. Wait a minute. How he found America, and then how he proceeded to soil this land with the blood of Native Americans as he took the land, as they took the land, as he took the Native American women back to where he came from as a gift. We can talk about that, but that's another story for another time. I'll give you a history lesson later on how everything that America is stained and soiled from its inception. We can talk about that. We can talk about that later on. Oh, side note, let me tell you this. For everybody who's watching and for everybody who's listening, this may be the part of the podcast you just might want to turn off. Or this may be the time where you just might want to go ahead and keep scrolling and do something else. Because this is a conversation that should always be had, but a lot of you all don't want to have it because it makes you feel uncomfortable. And as I say that, I see the followers dropping and dropping and dropping. That's good. That lets me know who's real and who's fake. Let me tell you all something. I didn't get into this business to make friends. I am not in this business to make friends. I went to a historically Black college university, Prairie View A&M University. Do you know how many people that I know from Prairie View? I am part of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Eta Gamma chapter. Do you know how many frat brothers that I have? I'm not here to make friends. The ones that I have, believe me, I love you and I will give you my last. But I'm not here to stroke your egos and make you feel good. Big Sarge, that ain't what Big Sarge is about. I used to tell my kids growing up, hey, look, if you don't want to know, when they were growing up, if you don't want to know the truth, don't ask me. Because I'm going to stick this spoon of reality in your mouth and tell you to taste it. It's going to be bitter, but it's going to be right. So that's what I always call myself. The big spoon of reality, which a lot of you all do not want to take. So if you have sensitive feelings, if you get uncomfortable talking about racial injustice, social injustices, racism, discrimination, systemic racism, if you get offended by that, it's best that you just go ahead and delete me off of everything, because I will not stop talking about it. As an African-American male who has traveled this world and knows that the African-American male is the most hated gender and race throughout the world, not just America, throughout the world. As someone who knows that, hold on, let me get my puffy on. Hold up. Can't stop, won't stop. With my Harlem Shake on. They still do the Harlem Shake? Got the shoulder, all right? They don't do the Harlem Shake no more, huh? Look, I'm fat. I'm just shaking stuff that shouldn't be shaken. So anyway, getting back to what I was talking about. Alejandro Villanueva, offensive tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers. On Sunday, on NFL Sunday, now the season started on Thursday between the Houston Texans and the Kansas City Chiefs. So that kicked off the season. But Sunday was the rest of the games outside of the other two that was played on Monday. But everybody knows it's football Sunday. So what a lot of the teams have decided to do, including the NFL as an organization, they've decided to do was to bring more awareness to the only thing that Colin Kaepernick was trying to do in the first place. And you so-called fake patriots who says you love this country but wouldn't raise your right hand and take the oath of enlistment to defend it, hated him all. On Sunday, you've seen all these things. They played the Negro. You know what? I'm going to stop right here. God damn it. It is not the Black national anthem. It is the Negro national anthem. It is not that song. It is not, hey, that little song they played before they played the national anthem. It is the Negro national anthem. Get it right, damn it. Y'all done pissed me off by calling it the Black anthem or that song. Sports media members here in Houston, Texas can't say, we're too lazy to take the time to look up The Negro national anthem. I digress. So they played the Negro national anthem on Sunday, and then they played the national anthem. And so some players, some teams decided not to come out. Some players, some teams decided to come out. Some players took a knee. Some players stood. That's their prerogative. They can do whatever they want to do. I don't have an issue with that, right? But what a lot of these teams decided to do, and it was approved by the NFL, was they decided to put names of people who have been killed or been shot, maybe not killed, but shot and paralyzed by law enforcement officials. Before I go on any further, I don't have anything against law enforcement officials. I have something against people who can't do their jobs. There's a difference. I don't dislike police officers. I dislike police officers who can't do their job. I digress again. So on the back of the helmets, people were wearing Breonna Taylor. People were wearing Atiana Jefferson. People were wearing Bolton Jean. People were wearing just different names of people of unarmed civilians that have been killed by law enforcement officials. George Floyd. So those names were on the back. So the Pittsburgh Steelers decided as a team that they were going to wear on the back of their helmets the name of Antoine Rose Jr., a young man who was shot in the back by police in 2018, right? Young man who was shot in the back in 2018 by the police as he fled. Now, I got to give you the background because, I try not to be a hypocrite. I got to give you the background. The vehicle that he was in, they said, was involved in the drive-by shooting. When the car was pulled over, the police got out. They seen bullet holes in the car. They started to arrest people. Antoine, along with one or two other people, got out of the car and took off running. And as he fled, being arrested, he was shot in the back 3 times. Now, I had to say that because Antoine Rose Jr. may not be for everybody, right? But the Pittsburgh Steelers decided that that's who they were going to wear on the back of their helmet. But I'm pretty sure that if others wanted to wear Breonna Taylor, I'm pretty sure if others wanted to wear Rashard Brooks, if others wanted to wear George Floyd on the back of the helmet, I'm pretty sure that the players wouldn't have had an issue with that. And Antoine Rose Jr. may not have been the person, like I said, that that they wanted to wear on the back of their helmets. But as a team, they decided that's who they were going to do, right? As a team. Now, remember that. Look, I need you to bookmark me saying team. So, as they walked out and everybody got Antoine Rose Jr. on the back of their helmet, guess who's the lone wolf that comes out with a whole different name on the back of their helmet? You guessed it, Captain Villanueva. Yeah. Alejandro Villanueva decided to wear a whole nother name. Now, let me side note again, right? I will digress and get back to what I'm talking about. But let me side note again. He decided to wear the name of Sergeant First Class Alwyn Cash, a veteran who died in the U.S. invasion of Iraq in 2005. Once again, he decided, Alejandro Villanueva decided to wear Sergeant First Class Alwyn Cash name on the back of his helmet, and he is a veteran who died in the U.S. invasion of Iraq in 2005. Who? For those of you all who don't know who I mean, that is a general overall thing that we say in the Army, and it can mean anything. Who can mean anything from shut the hell up, stop talking to me, to who I understand, I'm tracking, I got it, who in honor of. So I'm saying who in honor of Sergeant First Class Cash. Maybe Cash, they got an E at the end of it. I can't pronounce that. But he decided to wear that name on the back of his helmet. So like I said, I'm not mad about him using a veteran's name. I'm mad that you hijacked the cause and made it about you again. That's what I'm mad about, Captain Villanueva. I'm mad that you hijacked the cause and made it about you again. Some of you all want to know, well, what do you mean, Big Sarge, again? Well, in the beginning of at the beginning of the 2017 NFL season, right? The beginning of the 2017 NFL season, the Pittsburgh Steelers decided as a team, with head coach Mike Tomlin included, that they were not going to come out for the national anthem because they couldn't decide on whether they want to stand for the national anthem or if they want to take a knee for the national anthem. They could not decide. So what did Mike Tomlin say, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers? Hey, nobody leave the locker room. We all staying in the locker room. Nobody leave. Nobody leaves. Your head coach is telling you nobody leaves this locker room. What y'all think happened? Who do you all think was the first person to go out of the locker room like they didn't hear Mike Tomlin and the rest of the team agree upon not coming out of the locker room during the national anthem? I get it, bro. I get it, Captain Villanueva. You are hood to the max. You did 3 tours in Afghanistan. You're an Army Ranger. I get it. You're hood to the max. I get it. I understand. When I'm at these games, you know what I do, Captain Villanueva? I put my hand over my heart during the national anthem. That's just a personal preference, though. That's for me. So I get it and I understand. But you know what I don't do? If we make a decision as a unit, if I make a decision with somebody or a group of people as a unit that this is what we're going to do, I don't go against that. So you decided to go out, and here's your words verbatim about the 2017 incident. You apologize for your decision to stand alone, saying he felt embarrassed because it made the organization look bad, my coach look bad, and my teammates look bad. Let me tell you, say this one more time. These are the words of Alejandro Villanueva after he came out of the locker room and stood, I think he was in the tunnel, if I'm not mistaken. But after he came out of the locker room for the national anthem, after they had agreed 100%, Mike Tomlin said, whatever we do, we're going to do 100%. We're going to do it together. That's his words verbatim. And you decided to come out anyway. And then you said you felt embarrassed because it made the organization look bad, my coach look bad, and my teammates look bad. That was 2017, right? (2017). You said organization look bad, my coach look bad, my teammates look bad. So what the hell you think you done in 2020, sir? Well, what do you think that this 2020 looks like? What do you think that this latest incident that you've done, what do you think that that looks like? It looks like you're hijacking the cause. Because in 2017, it was a statement being made about social injustices and racism and systemic racism and how unarmed civilians were being killed by law enforcement officials. And fast forward 3 years later, the same thing is being done, and you are still bucking the system, going against everything that your team stands for. Now, you're an Army Ranger. You're in the Army, right? The mission comes first, correct? Because I know that was drilled into my head my entire time I was in the military, from day one in basic training until the time I retired. The mission comes first. You know that, right? But the mission didn't come first in 2017 when you decided to go against your team and your coach and go stand out there for the national anthem after everybody had made a decision. And you've done 3 tours in Afghanistan. So you know that when everybody starts planning and saying, we're going to do this, and don't go away from what we're going to do not, unless we have to use the contingency plan, Do not deviate from what we are doing right here. You know that better than anybody on that team because you had to learn in the Army and you had to learn it in football. Do not deviate when a play. Wait, don't deviate from this. Excuse me. You deviated in 2017. Now you deviated in 2020. So you know what that makes me feel like? My personal opinion. You know how I look at it? Big Sarge. You know how Big Sarge, what Big Sarge is looking at it as? Hey, bro, do you have a problem with systemic racism? Do you have a problem with social injustice? Do you have a problem with black men being killed by law enforcement officials? Do you unarmed black men, unarmed black women being killed by law enforcement officials? Do you have an issue with that? Because in 2 incidents, you have made it about Alejandro Villanueva instead of the cause. And guess what? I don't give a damn. You can't give me no 4156 for disrespecting an officer because I ain't in the military no more. Who are that? So the only thing you could do is get mad at me. That's about it. I don't care. Because this cause means more to me than you will ever know. As an African American male who goes through racism, discrimination on a continuous basis, I can walk out of my house right now, walk onto the street, and I guarantee you that there's at least 3 people out there right now that don't like black men. I promise you. Will they say it? Of course not. They don't want to be on social media. They don't want to lose their job. They don't want to lose their 3 black friends that they go to church with and that they love. You can't tell me nothing, Alejandro Villanueva. There's nothing you can tell me that I don't already know by your actions. You're in the Army. You know what they say. Actions speak louder than words. When you got a soldier that just won't comply to the orders that is being given, what happens after that? Better yet, sir, last thing that I have for you. As an officer in the United States Army, if you give a direct order and a soldier deviates from that direct order, if your subordinate does not follow your orders to a T, and as long as your orders are not unlawful or immoral, as long as your orders are not that, and that soldier deviates from that, what happens? You've been in this game long enough to know that. You have. You've been in this game long enough to know if you go outside a direct order, what happens? In 2017, your coach gave you a direct order. You disobeyed it. In 2020, your team came up with a direct order and you disobeyed it again. So if you don't like the cause, it's better for you in this current administration that we're in. It's better for you to just come out and say you ain't down with the cause. It's better for you to go to your 75% black teammates and tell them, and your black head coach, and tell them, hey, listen, you know how it's done. My heart bleeds for everybody who's suffering through this type of thing. Listen, I understand and I sympathize with you, but I'm just not down with the cause. Breonna Taylor. I mean, they paid her. They paid the family's getting $12 million. What's I don't see what's wrong. There's some bad apples. The police make mistakes. You can't take the actions of one police officer, one bad police officer, and blame an entire police entire law enforcement division. Like, you can't. Like, you just can't. I mean, I understand that every time we look around that there's another black person being killed by the police. Every time we turn around, another black person is being killed by the police. And I understand that, but it's not my cause. I'd rather for you to say that, sir, than to continue to fake it and act like you dumb as hell, because you're not. You went to West Point. You're an officer. You did 3 tours. You're not dumb by far. I've spoken to you personally, so I know. And I have somebody who will back me up that stood right there and talked to you as well. So don't give me that, oh, I didn't know what we were doing. No, you knew exactly what you were doing. So if that be the case, if you're not down with it, then just go ahead and just move on. Say it. Say it out loud. Say it out loud. I would respect you more, sir. I'm about to get ready to get up out of here, y'all. I thank y'all. Thank y'all for letting me spend a couple of minutes with y'all today. I will definitely be back. And that's all I got. I'm out.